Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited for today's video because we are diving back into the makeup collection, continuing the Declutter series with the affordable eyeshadow palettes. Now in the past, I have done the eyeshadow palettes as one video. However, the eyeshadow collection is the most extensive part of my collection, and I figured we would break it up into affordable and high-end, which I still have to do my high-end, just swatching and looking at all the color stories and deliberating on which ones to keep does take a lot of time, and it kind of hurts my heart when I go through some of them and I'm like, oh, I'm just not in love with you anymore. And they're going to be passed on. I've got some friends that are going to receive those eyeshadow palettes. I do ask that you not request any of my used makeup in the comments. I'm not going to send it out. I do have friends that are going to go through the decluttered items and they get to take those home and put them into their collection. There are some organizations that I can donate them to as well. Just depends on how used they are. But also, if you love declutters, there are other videos on here. There's a declutter series playlist that you can check. It is in the drop down box, so you can definitely click on that. Check out some videos starting back in 2018 when I did my first declutter on my channel. There are some videos that are 2.5 hours, some that are 30 minutes. It just depends on what you're looking for and what you're into. So definitely go check that out if you want to see more of what's been in my collection and what I've kept and gotten rid of in the past. Now you guys, before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell for notifications of new videos, and if you like this video, make sure to hit a big thumbs up. But if you want to see what's in my affordable eyeshadow palette collection, what stays, what goes, just keep watching. Okay, you guys, in front of me, I have the palettes. I only have like one or two from the brand. So we're going to start out with this one from Lottie London. Really pretty shades, this purple and nude. I did already use this palette, so I don't mind swatching it, but this really pretty purpley shimmer shade. I like the color story, but I do have this in other palettes, so I am going to get rid of this. I know I have someone who's going to take it off my hands that loves purple shades. This one from e.l.f. Really love this color story. It is the Perfect 10 eyeshadow. This I like because I've got the neutral shades right here that I can use on an everyday basis. I've got this really pretty champagne shade, but then I can also spruce up my eye look after work with these really pretty glittery shades with that pop of color. Really gorgeous. So I'm gonna hold on to this one for right now. This one from Catkin. I did just do a partnership with them to review the palette. This is their Seasonal 9-color eyeshadow in Morandi. This layout reminds me of like a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette in their 9-pan. Really like the shades in here. I do like this pink. I used it for work one day and then used this shimmery shade. These shades are beautiful, very blendable. I know that I think I might have a similar color story in another palette, but until I do all of my eyeshadow palettes, I'm not really sure. So right now we're going brand by brand, and I might do the comparisons later if I have to deep dive more declutter. This one from Beauty for Real, the Golden Hour palette. I like this because I have the neutral brown shades. I've got the burnt orange. The shimmers are gorgeous. I do know that I have this in similar. These are really buttery, and I really like the shade Pink Sands. This one on my middle finger. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am going to hold on to this right now. Like I said, it is with these eyeshadow palettes right now, I think I only have one from each of these brands. So I'm going to hold on to this. This one from NYX, the Ultimate Flamingo Frost. Such a cute palette. I love the decor with the flamingos on it. The color story is really pretty. So you've got the burgundy shades, you've got some pinks, some neutrals. This I think is very versatile for someone who likes neutrals, but then also likes to do a pop of color like the minty green or the deeper cranberry red. These shades are really pretty. I do like the quality of NYX, especially being an affordable brand at the drugstore. This palette is going to continue to stay in my collection. I have reached for it a couple times and I do enjoy using their eyeshadow palettes. This one from BH Cosmetics, Let That Go. I've reached for it once. The color story is pretty. I do have this in other palettes. So I may not necessarily have like green and neutrals in the same palette, but I know that I have similar shades. I like the two brown shades and then the like mossy green. The shimmers are really pretty. I think technically I don't really need to keep this palette. I want to, but then I just also know that I have not reached for it as much as I thought I was going to. So I think I'm gonna pass this on. It is really pretty. All right, Sephora destinations. This was when I did, what was it? ChatGPT chose my makeup. And this was one of their recommendations. I like the color story. And then the shimmers that are in here are really pretty. It is the only Sephora palette that I have. I've only reached for it a couple times, not as frequently as I would like to do, but I also know that I have these shades, these shimmers that I gravitate towards in other palettes, so I am going to get rid of this one. P. Louise Fluffy Fantasy in Sienna Sun. This is a palette for eye and face. So you got the eyeshadow shades in the middle, and then you've got a blush and a highlighter. I like these shades. They are a little bit deeper, so I can't really wear this to work. We will go ahead and swatch the shimmers and then the highlighter. So the highlighter is a little bit deeper for me as well. I feel like I need to pass this on because I'm not going to get as much use as I would like. When it comes to neutral palettes, I do like to have like a champagne shade that I can use for work to lighten it up. I can't have deep dark shades when I'm in uniform. So this one I'm going to pass on. I have someone in mind that I think might like this. This one from ZC, I've had this for a while. I haven't really reached for it. This is the Fireworks 16 Colors eyeshadow in 07. I love the little like cat design on it and then the little cover for it. I do like the color story, but like I said, I have not reached for this. There's like a pressed glitter and then you've got the really pretty like glittery shimmery shades. Ooh, and the black with the glitter, it's got like teal and gold glitter in it. And then let's see. Ooh, yeah, I think I know someone who would love to have this palette. It is really gorgeous. I just have not reached for it like I thought I would. I purchased it a couple years ago and then it's just stayed in the collection. And I've accumulated so many recently that it gets missed. So I'm going to declutter this one. Be Perfect Rain. This is the Makeup by Alina and their collaboration. Very gorgeous color story. I also have never used this one either. I think this is when I bought this when I was in the middle of moving and I just did not get the opportunity to use it. I do like the color story. It does have some very bright colors. The shimmers and the glitters. Ooh, those are gorgeous. I think I'm gonna hold on to this palette for right now. You guys, I've got Dixon right here. Dude, I'm decluttering. You gonna hang out with me? Go guard the house. I gotta finish. I'll come hang out with you in a minute. Bye. He has such great personality. All right, I grabbed a couple more. So I have these three from Judy Doll. I just did, actually, this is not an eyeshadow palette. This is a face palette. This should have been in my face palette declutter. The shades were too light, so technically this would have been decluttered in the face palette one. So passing that on. Oh, this is the contour one. This was also very pale, but gave me really good shading. So this one's gonna stay. I don't remember how these got into the eyeshadows. Interesting. All right, this is the eyeshadow palette from Judy Doll. I like the color story, very neutral, easy to use, 2 shimmers, a bunch of mattes, which I really appreciate. I feel like I can get some good use out of this for work, so this one will stay in the collection. I've got these 2 from Hip Dot. They were a collaboration with Reese's, hence Reese's on the front. So this one right here, the orange, has some neutral shades. You've got the orange, Papa Yellow, very beautiful, like pressed glitter. Look at that. And then the other 2 shimmers are really gorgeous. I really like this palette. So I am gonna keep this one for right now. And then the white chocolate Reese's, also very gorgeous color story. I love the orange and the champagne, pressed glitter and gold. So keeping this one as well. I have these 2 from Mary Kay. So my aunt actually sells Mary Kay and she sent these to me to try out. Really pretty shades. I do have these in other palettes. So to keep a 4-pan quad doesn't make sense to me. Shades are really pretty. I do like that iridescent, like purpley pink shade, but I don't know that I need to keep this whole palette. I think I'm gonna pass this on. I think I have a friend who would like this. And then this one from Mary Kay as well has more of the neutral shades. This one has lots of shimmers in it. Ooh, I like those shades. But like I said, I do also have them in other palettes. So I think I'm gonna declutter this one as well. Formula Z Cosmic Glitz. I think this was given to me by a friend. She had received it in a subscription box, and then like 2 subscription boxes later, she ended up receiving it again. Oh yeah, I like these shades in here. So you've got a burnt orange, a neutral brown with silver glitter. You've got a pressed glitter, a shimmer, another blue shimmer. Ooh, look how glittery and gorgeous that is. I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, I have these 2 from Milani. Hi, Dixon. You came back? Did you want to come hang out? Yeah. You can hang out, Bubba. All right. You gonna be the beauty guru? Okay. Can I still do this? You guys, I'm gonna go give him some attention and I'll come back. Okay. I think he's gonna snuggle up to me right now. All right, I've got these 2 from Milani. I have the Milani Gilded Getaway. I love the packaging of this, the little like minivan. So cute. Shades are really pretty. I love the pops of color in here. And then the shimmers. So you've got the gold, bronze, green. You've got this black with gold glitter. Really like these shades. I do like Milani eyeshadows. Don't play with this as much as I would like, so I am going to keep it for now. The Milani Gilded Flora. Love this. This reminds me of a color story. Can you guys tell me which color story you think it reminds you of? I have it in my more expensive eyeshadow palettes. But I love the color story. I do like using this, especially in the springtime. I really like the corally shade, the purple, the pink, and the yellow. The shimmers are really pretty. Milani has a really nice eyeshadow formulation. They haven't released any eyeshadow palettes recently. I would love for them to do some more, but I'm gonna keep this one as well. Profusion, this is Casper the Friendly Ghost. This was a 28 shade palette with Casper. I love the little like gems and the little bats in here. Color story is different than I would have expected. You got a lot of like pastels, purples, not a lot of neutrals. Like I could use this shade right here on a daily, and the dark purple, like I can't use anything to deepen up for work. I do have the different shimmers that are really pretty. I don't find myself gravitating towards this palette as much as I would like. So this one I think I'm going to get rid of. I know I have a friend out there that would absolutely love to have this in their collection. This one from BH Cosmetics, Take Me to Ibiza. This color story is really pretty. You've got some neutrals, you've got all the vibrant shades, you have a really pretty highlighter. I like that you have bigger pans of the neutral shades for like your crease. I don't reach for this as much. I think BH Cosmetics sunsetted a couple years ago. So they're no longer available. Their shades are really pretty. I had this since I started my channel back in 2018. So I think I'm gonna pass this on to someone else. I do have bright, vibrant colors in other eyeshadow palettes. So I think it's only fair to let someone else enjoy this palette. BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis. This was by far one of my favorites. It was a staple. It has all my daily shades. I actually am gonna keep this one. I can already tell you that. So I've got the neutral shades, I've got the light tan, I've got the deeper, I've got the deepest brown right here, a burnt orange, really pretty like creamy white shade. But then I've got all the highlighters, I've got the pops of color in the shimmers. They're still buttery smooth. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the formulation. It's a shame that they're not a brand anymore, but this one will stay in my collection. I actually need to put this on my desk because this was an everyday use for me when I first purchased it. And then BH Cosmetics, the Aurora Lights. This is an 18 color baked eyeshadow palette. This one I'm gonna keep. So you're mostly gonna get shimmers in this palette. I've reached for this for a lot of fun different things like Halloween or going to Pride with some friends. This has all the colors you absolutely need. The formulations are really pretty. The colors are stunning. Oof, I love this. They're so buttery smooth, beautiful formula. Gonna keep this one. Okay, I have Moira. So this one and this one were kind of like a carnival release. So you've got Magic Dreaming. This is the Moira Land series palette. Really like this. So the packaging itself is also really interesting. Like it's got the ticket for going on the rides, and then you've got the insert, which I don't usually keep the inserts, but it's super cute. It has a really pretty design with like the carnival rides and the little concession carts. Color story is gorgeous. Their shimmers are so buttery smooth. I absolutely love this one because you've got the neutral shades, you've got the pops of color. The shimmers are breathtaking. I do really enjoy Moira. So this one I'm going to keep. Fun is in the Air. If I remember correctly, this one is like a little bit lighter. Oh yeah, so you've got the neon shades. I'm also gonna keep this one. I love the pops of neon and the shimmers, really pretty. I love that they're an affordable brand. I don't know if this is still available on their website. I know that I've picked up one of their eyeshadow palette releases recently, but I feel like this is such a fun color story. And even then, like the neons are so intense. Absolutely breathtaking. If you haven't checked out Moira, definitely worth the purchase or even just taking a peek. This is their Endless Moonlight. This was the first palette I ever picked up by Moira because it's a neutral. And the packaging is kind of like a little book. But you've got some of the warm tone neutral browns. You've got the cool tones with the grays. And then same thing with the shimmers. You have cool and warm tones. I really like this because I can reach for it for work. The shimmers are stunning. They're buttery smooth. They're so blendable. Absolutely love this. Keeping. And then this is my most recent pickup. This is their Cosmic Desire. This one, actually, is this the new one? No, this is the newest one. So this one's also neutral. You have mostly, I would say more cool tones. Actually, maybe a mix of cool and warm tones. I do like that you have a matte black, you have a deep brown, you've got the gray, like taupey shade, and then you've got the light tan. Absolutely everything that I need for like my daily look. Really pretty. So gonna keep this one. Okay, you guys, we are on to Morphe and sir,
Hi, I'm trying to do this.
can I keep doing this? No, you're gonna be a pain. I know it's almost bedtime. All right, so Morphe, these are just the ones that have stayed in my collection so far. You guys, Dixon's on some other, he's something else tonight. I've decluttered a lot of my collection from Morphe. I just don't reach for them, and I have colors in other palettes. All right, so we're gonna start out. This is the 35i Icy Fantasy. The palette is like, the packaging is cute. Color story, so that was the other thing. Like Morphe doesn't have the names on the like eyeshadow palette, so you've got to keep the interior cover. The shades are really pretty, but they're subdued compared to some of the other like palettes that I have. Like, and these feel dry compared to some of my other shimmers. Like, oh yeah, no, the swatchability on that, I'm gonna get rid of this palette. You got the 35G Bronze Goals. I love this palette. I reach for this so much. I used to have, I think I decluttered it already, one of their bronzers, which was really good. It was ginormous. The shades are like, I love that you've got the neutral matte shades, you've got the more like warm tones, hence bronze. But when I'm looking at some of these shimmers, they just look a little bit drier than the formulation that I'm used to now with some of the quality that's out there, especially with the indie brands that I've been gravitating towards. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. That kind of hurts my heart because I reached for this one quite a bit back in the day. This is one of their like old school like palettes. This is the 35M Boss Mood. All right. I love this color story for fall. Really gorgeous tones. I love the mossy greens, the reds, just this is the tone or the color story I think of when I'm thinking about fall. These are nice and buttery compared to the other ones I swatched. Ooh, I think I'm gonna keep this one. I was really surprised, especially because the other two were a little bit drier, but I like how they swatched. They're buttery smooth still. And I feel like I would gravitate towards this color story quite a bit. So I'm gonna keep this one for now. 35S Sweet Oasis. Ooh, I like the shades. I love the tealy greens. You've got the really pretty pinky tones. You've also got the light neutral shades. These ones do feel a little bit, like some of them are dry and then, so like this one felt a little bit dry, but the other ones were buttery smooth. I do like those shades. I think I'm gonna keep this one. The Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I had both palettes, the first one and this one. I've already decluttered the first one. I think I liked these shades better, like especially the pinky tones and like the bronzy, but the rest of the color story, like it's not, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. 39L, Hit the Lights. Ooh, okay, so this was a collaboration between 4 different people. So you've got the red tones, you've got the neutral tones, you've got the vibrant neons, a little bit warmer and pinky tones, and then all the shimmers in the middle. Really gorgeous. I use this one quite a bit. Really pretty. I just don't know that I need to keep this. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one because I kept the other two. I'm sure I have someone that would love to have this one. And then this one is 39S, Such a Gem. This is when they were keeping the black and white, but then they went from the acrylic to the cardboard before they got really fancy with their designs. Ooh, okay, I remember this palette. I reached for this one quite a bit. You've got the pinky tones, you've got some neutral shades, lots of shimmer, pressed glitter. This one cracked, but otherwise, like, they're fine. Ooh, I do like those shades. Now, do I need to keep this palette? That is the question. Like, I say neutral, but there's a brown and a black with glitter in it. And then, oh, and there's a tan, kind of a burnt orangey brown, and then like a gray. I don't know that I need to keep this. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna pass this on. I did keep two other Morphe palettes, so this one's gonna get passed on. Okay, guys, I feel bad. I just realized when I was looking at the reflection on this palette that the fan was just kind of giving like a flashing effect. I didn't even realize it, and I know in previous videos it's been a conversation piece. My apologies. So we have turned the fan off, so we shouldn't have any more of that. Okay, so I don't even know where to start. These are some of my favorites. First thing, before I like comment on every single palette going, oh my gosh, the artwork is gorgeous. They have absolutely stunning artwork on their packaging. Breathtaking. So that is out of the way. I'm not going to comment. There are some that are more like I favor more than others, but their artwork is phenomenal. All right, we'll start out right here with the Rebel Mints. There were 4 different shade, like 4 different palettes that came out with different color stories. I only kept the mints. The color story is gorgeous. I love the greens. Very much a monochromatic moment. These two are beautiful. Now, do I need to keep it? I think I'm going to for right now. I may have to compare palettes later and see if I kept similar shades, but for right now, we're keeping the Rebel Mints. All right, the Berries by Juvia's. I love this color story. I need to reach for it more. I really hope I'm not like, I love every single one of these. It might, bear with me, you guys. I do like the color story. You've got the deep dark berry. You've got the really pretty pinky tones, the shimmers. Look at those. Feel like you could deepen it up or even keep it a little bit more neutral. I say neutral, lighter tones of pinks, but I do like this color story, so I'm gonna keep this one. Even the sweet pinks. I love this color story as well. So when you're talking about the two of them together, like this is, even if you wanted to use a couple shades from the berries and then a couple shades from the sweet pinks, I feel like you have a pretty cohesive monochromatic pink moment here. There are 3 shimmers in here, Vice 2 and the other one. I do love the shades, really pretty. Gonna keep this one. This is the one by Vanessa. I forgot her full name. I think this was a collaboration. Vanessa X Juvia's Place. Yeah, so it was a collaboration, but I don't remember who Vanessa is. But the color story that she came up with, very beautiful. Love the tan, love the burnt orange, the burgundy, and the deep brown. And then the shimmers. This one reminds me of the pressed pearls that we saw in the Huda Beauty palette. Forgot which one it was. But it's so buttery smooth and gorgeous. Do I keep it? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I feel like I could do these 2 for work and then use like Perfectionist. I'm gonna hold on to it. The chocolates. Okay, this one, I love this and I've used it like once or twice. I do have other shades. I have someone in mind that I think would absolutely love this color story. I love the deep dark shimmers in here. I just don't reach for it as much as I would like. So I am gonna pass this one on. I Live, I Love. This color story, it's pretty. It's not something I reach for as much. And then this is where we get into like the comparisons. So I have the mints and I feel like this green, this one's a little bit lighter, but it's similar. So I feel like I could keep it. The only like difference is I like the blue shimmers, but I don't know that I need to keep it as much. Like I don't love the matte shades and I do have this green in the mints. So I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. The Blushed Rose. I loved this release. So this is also when they put out their blush and contour palette, contour bronzer palettes. Love the color story. I love the pinky shades. I love that I've got the burnt orangey brown. And then even then, this beautiful orangey shade. just to have a little bit of fun. And when I first received this, I wasn't gonna do like hang out with the orange shade. I was doing the pinks. But now I feel like, now that I'm more in tune with color palettes, I feel like I'd reach for that orange. So for right now, I'm gonna hold on to this. We may have to compare and contrast like we did with the mints. The violets. Ooh, okay. I like this color story. I know if I told Casey, hey, I've got this palette for you, she loves purples. She would take this off my hands. But I also love this color story. Like, yes, I think I need to do a monochromatic purple moment. Keeping this one. The Bronzed Rustic. So this came out at the same time as the blush palette with the blushes and the bronzers. I like this color story. However, I just don't reach for it as much. Like, I love this shimmer right here. The rose gold and the bronze. I like this, but I'm not sure that I love it. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. And then I Love Ice. So this one's like all the icy blue shades. I can already tell you, so these two matte shades, very pale when it comes to like showing up on my eyelids. The shimmers are absolutely mesmerizing, and this pressed glitter is breathtaking. However, I don't know that I need to keep it. So I feel like this one is gonna go be decluttered. All right, Nubian Earth. So the other palettes were 6 pans. This is the larger palettes from Juvia's Place. This color story, this is why I got rid of some of my more neutral shades, because you have that in the Nubian Earth palette where you have all the neutral tones. I love the shimmers in here. You've got a pressed glitter. So this one I will keep. I'd rather keep, what is this? 12 shades, vice 6. Gonna keep. The Saharan. Okay, I like this color story. I'm not sure that I'm in love with this color story. You got some really pretty shimmers, like the peridot green, but I have that in another palette. I just don't gravitate towards this as much, so I am going to pass this on. Ooh, this is one of my favorites from Juvia's. This is the Nubian 3 Coral. So you've got the neutral tones, the peachies, the burgundy, you got the blue tones in here to just lighten it up a little bit. I love this color story. I traveled with this when I was moving and did not pack it out in my shipment to be moved here. I wore this nonstop during that summer. I'm gonna keep this one. Garden of Juvia's. Okay, so this is, I love the artwork on this one. Mesmerizing. This one and the Candy Shop. Candy Shop is probably one of my favorite artworks that they have. We'll talk about it. All right, so the Garden by Juvia's. This one's got your pastel shades, really pretty shimmers in here. I love that I've got the yellows, the greens, pinks, purples, and literally when you're looking at this, you could just go down the line and that is an entire color look. I'm keeping this. Absolutely. Mesmerizing. Love that. The Candy Shop. Like I said, it is one of my favorite covers for them. I just love this. I would definitely do this to my hair for like Halloween or just to have fun or a special event. This is so much fun. And then the color story is everything you dream about seeing at the candy store. Keeping this one as well. I don't know if you were surprised by that when I told you how much in love I am with this color story. Look at those shimmers. Breathtaking. Keeping this one. The Nubian by Juvia's. This one was one of my earlier like pickups from Juvia's, but I had also received a little like tiny 6 pan of it. So they had a mini of this. I like the color story and I used to use it quite a bit. However, I do not reach for it as much as I'd like, and I do have these colors in other palettes. So I think I'm going to pass this one on. And I know I've got a friend that would love to take this off my hands. We have the Nomad by Juvia's. This one you've got like the mustardy orange and yellows. You've got the the mossy green and then the brown shades. There's only 2 shimmers in here, and then you've got a matte with yellow glitter. I like it, but I'm not in love with it. So I'm gonna let this one go. The Magic Mini. This one has a bright, colorful color story, but that's what these 3 are. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, ooh, this is where I need to get into like the comparisons of these palettes. So this one is the Magic Mini. Then we have Wahala 2. Ooh, see, these are a little bit more subdued colors, and then these are like more gem tone bright shades. And then you also have Culture and Culture 2, and these are gonna have some neon. So we'll start with Culture. Okay, yeah, so you've got the neon pinks and blues and greens. Okay, I might not be getting rid of the colorful ones. And then Culture 2, looking at these. And this is where I'm like, okay, I do need to compare and contrast my eyeshadow palettes. But looking at these, even the shimmers in Culture and Culture 2, they offset each other. So like you've got a pink, but then this pink is a little bit different of a shade. And then this one is more of like a pressed glitter. Ooh, that is gorgeous. So looking at all four of these and like, look at this blue compared to some of these other blues. I'm gonna keep all four of these palettes. So we're keeping Culture 2, Culture, Wahala 2, and the Magic Mini. That was easy. Okay, you guys, now we've got Beauty Bay. This one's gonna be a little bit harder for me because I do love the quality of their eyeshadows. They are also over in the UK, and now with everything that's going on with shipping, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick up their new releases. So I'm gonna be very cognizant of if I get rid of this and I was like, ooh, I wanna keep it, I may not be able to repurchase. Also, once they release them, they discontinue them. So, all right, first one we've got is the Mini Charms. This is a 9-color palette, all glitter shimmers. Their shades are buttery smooth. I love the blendability. I love that I could honestly take this with me and then just take a matte palette or use this as a complementary to another palette. Really gorgeous. Love the shades. Gonna keep this one. The Golden Age. This was a release for like New Year's or Christmas a couple years ago. This is more of a neutral palette. I definitely can reach for this all the time. I've even got like the deeper, darker chocolatey brown shimmer right here. I've got the champagne, more gold and bronzy tones. So this one is going to stay in the collection. It is definitely one of those, like, it's one that I can use every day. The Metamorphic palette. This one's interesting. It opens, and then, so you can close this and you still have access to the top row, vice versa. And then it's got a mirror on both sides. I love that you've got like the cool tone shades, and then you've also got some really pretty shimmers and glitters. Love this color story. I'm gonna keep this. All right, so Age of Opulence also came out with the Golden Age. These were released together. And this one, you've got like the gem tone shades. You got the purples, the emeralds, the blues. Definitely some beautiful shades in here. I do like that I have the neutrals. I've got a brown, I've got a black, so I can deepen it up. I can keep it neutral and then a pop of color, or I can go full out with the bright, bold colors. So look at those, breathtaking. Okay, you guys, Dark Fantasy. This has more of like the dark, moody shades, a little bit deeper, grungier. Love the shimmers. You guys, I don't know if I'm getting rid of any of my Beauty Bay ones. Look at this. Absolutely love these. And their price point is so good. So their palettes are 20 colors, but then I want to say they're only like $25 for the eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna keep that one. New Romantic. This one's all of your like red tones. You got your burgundies, you got your hot pinks, your little baby light pink shade. Love this. And I do love that there's a brown and a black in here to deepen it up, but gorgeous. Keeping this one. Celestial Charms, deeper, darker, moodier shades. I do love this shade Galaxy. Absolutely one of my favorites. There's so much going on. It's kind of like a periwinkle blue, and then it's got all the glitter shades in here. I love this. Definitely keeping it. All right, Love Notes. Okay, this one's a little bit on the lighter side. You've got the pale lavender shades. I do like that you got this corally pink shade. Deeper tones for like down here in the corner, but it's not as many. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I like Love Notes, but I don't know that it's something that I need to keep because I do feel like I have some of these shimmers in other palettes that I've already kept. Ooh, I never thought I'd be like, oh, let me get rid of this one. I think I'm gonna pass this one on. That I wasn't expecting. I really didn't think I was getting rid of any of my Beauty Bay palettes. Okay, this one is Retro Love. Ooh, I like this. So these are the teal shades that I was kind of going back and forth on with Juvia's, but I feel like you got the neutral shades, you got the peachy pinky tones, you got some purples, pastels. There's a lot going on in here, and there's shimmers. Ooh, this green, this blue. Yes, absolutely here for it. Gonna keep this palette. New Mood. The hot pink, really pretty. The mustardy yellow is interesting. The blue. Did I even use this palette? It looks like I did like a neutral look, but I didn't really like play with it. Did I not like this? I mean, the shades are pretty. I don't know that I'm in love with it. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. I did not see that coming. Wilderness. Okay, I like the deeper, darker, grungier shades. So like New Mood. So when I'm looking at New Mood, I have similar shades in here, but they're more grungy than in here. So I don't feel bad about getting rid of this one. And then you got the reds, greens, blues, some burnt orange shades in here. All right, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Ooh, yeah, I like that. All right, we've got Botanical. These are a little bit more subdued, but still have that color payoff that I would expect. So I've got the neutral tones, I've got like the corally peach, I've got the purple, and then you've got some really pretty shimmers in here. Ooh, yeah, see, I like this color story. I feel like this is something that I would play around with a lot. I'm gonna keep this one. Reckless Romance. I don't remember what this color story looked like. Ooh, okay. Hold on. Okay, I had to compare because I was like, okay, New Romantic and Reckless Romance. So these are New Romantic's a little bit more of like the bright side of it, whereas these are more of like the grungy side of it. So I feel like I'm going to keep this because I've got the like dark moody, and actually I'm thinking about a palette that I have a similar color story, and I was talking about getting rid of that palette, so I don't feel bad about keeping this one, especially because it's got the lighter champagne shade. I've got the purpley tones. Yes, keeping that. And last one from Beauty Bay, this is Daydreamer. So this one has like the lighter pastels, neutral tones. No, don't really have too many deep shades except for Fantasy and then Euphoria, which is that deep purple and pink. And then everything else is fairly neutral and then light pastels. I like this. Yes, I'm gonna keep that one as well. You guys, we are on to ColourPop, and this is the last affordable brand I have, but this is also the largest portion of my affordable eyeshadow palette collection. This is where it's going to be, okay, we're going to have to compare and contrast because I know that I have similar colors in other palettes. All right, so first up we have the Bambi collection. So I've got Thumper, and this one you've got the lighter tones, kind of taupey brown shades. I want to keep this palette. It's super cute. I loved the Bambi collection. However, I don't know that I need to keep it. Like, it's just a little too light, and as much as I want to, I know that I've got some friends that would be like, yep, I'll take it from you. It's a good travel palette, but I do know that I have this color story in another palette. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. This one is Flower. I love the purple tones. I literally just kept a bunch of purple shades from Beauty Bay. We're gonna go ahead and swatch it anyways, just so you can see. Ooh, I love how buttery smooth. It's a matte shade with purple glitter. I think I know exactly, Casey's gonna take this from me. I bet you she's gonna be like, yep, I'll take it, absolutely. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. I would love to keep it, but I just kept the purple shades, and it's so tiny. I have bigger purple palettes than just a little 5-pan. I've held on to it for too long. Okay, this palette, Going Coconuts, I honestly thought about repurchasing just the one shimmer right here, which is Cocoa Crush. It's dried out. Actually it's got some payoff, but I just don't reach for it anymore. I have other palettes that I keep on my table. I love this color story. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just don't think I need to hold on to it any longer. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Main Squeeze. This is like a predominantly pink palette. I love the shades. I love the shimmers. I don't need to keep this palette though. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Wild Child. So this has the deeper, darker tones, which I like. Downside is there's not really a champagne shade, which I would be able to use for like my daily wear. There is a pressed glitter and then shimmery shades. Pressed glitter feels like it's a little, I mean, if I press into it, I can get some payoff. I'm gonna get rid of this one. It's My Pleasure. I think this is a whole purple palette. It is. Love this color story. I love this shade right here. This one, I think I'm gonna hold on to. I got rid of Flower, so we're gonna keep this one. Okay, Smoke Show. This is an all like moody, smoky gray. Love this. You have the darker gray, the silver. I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, Lucky Penny. This is all your coppery, bronzy shades. Ooh, I do like this color story. I'm gonna keep this one. Baby Got Peach. I love this palette. I use it quite a bit. However, I don't reach for it as much as I would like. Pressed Glitter, which is Really pretty. Ooh, it's so buttery. I love this, especially for like summer. I'm gonna hold on to this one. This one is Biddy. This was a collaboration with Biddy and ColourPop. I like this color story. You got 2 pressed glitters, 2 shimmers. The shimmers are really gorgeous. It's so much fun. I'm gonna keep that. I really like these matte shades right here. Blush Crush. I like this, but I also have another palette that I'm like, okay, I need to compare these two. I'm gonna hold off because I know there's another one. So Making Mauves. I like this one and I like the cool tones. The shimmers right here are really gorgeous. And I've reached for this quite a bit recently, especially because of this shade for like everyday wear. This one's a little bit deeper, but it does have some glitter in it. So I just tap the glitter off when I use it for work. But then I still have this light tan shade in there as well. So I'm gonna keep that one. Tinkerbell, Sprinkle a Little Magic. This one, I had some feelings about this one. I do like the pinky tones. There's not really a more neutral shade except for this one placed between. But even then, it's not a light shade. It's kind of a brown. But you've got the greens and then you've got kind of like a gold shade. I am gonna hold on to this for right now. Bling Time. Okay, so these are the ones that I'm starting to like, okay, they're similar color stories. We'll get there in a second. Yep. All right, so Quartz. This one's got some of the greigey tones, similar to Smoke Show. All right, so darker grays and silver, and then these have more of like the neutral tones. So together you have like a cohesive smoky palette. I'm gonna keep both of these. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch a couple shimmers for you. Love that. She's got Solstice. Also more peachy tones. Lock It Down is purple. Ooh, I just kept a purple palette. Let's see. So I've got the deeper, darker shades. I've got the lighter tones. Yep, I'm gonna keep both of these. Someone is not gonna be happy that I kept both of these, but it is what it is. And then Star Wars, you've got the Mandalorian and you got, what is it, the Child. These two I'm keeping. It's Star Wars. Luke is a huge Star Wars nerd. I just took him to Disney for Star Wars. So I'm gonna keep the Mandalorian and I'm gonna keep the Child. Love those. All right, you guys, we need to compare. I don't know that I need all of these. If I open all these and then I end up keeping all of them, you have every right to tell me I'm an idiot. Can we stay open? All right, so this one has the peachy tones, which is Bling Time. And I like the peachy tones, but didn't I just keep Baby Got Peach? I did. So I like the peachy tones like this and that pressed glitter, but I feel like I prefer the deeper shades in Bling Time. So I'm gonna keep this one and get rid of Baby Got Peach. And then looking at these pink tones, I feel like these two are similar, but this one's got this more vibrant pinky shade. Also the pans are smaller. I think I'm gonna keep By the Rosé and get rid of Glam Right. And then I don't think these are the same color story. Looking at it, like you've got more of like the pinky tones and these are more of like the rosy, let's see. And even you've got the green in here. Yeah, they're not even similar. So I'm gonna keep both of these. Blush Crush and She's Got Solstice. You guys, Dixon came to tell me that Sochu's being mean to him and won't play with him.
It's okay, puppers. We're almost done. Then we can go to bed. Here, play with your shark. Play with your shark. All right.
Okay, you guys, we are halfway done with ColourPop. Looking at this, I was like, okay, I've made a dent. It's not huge, but we've made a dent. Okay, so this is the Zodiac palette. This is a collaboration with Kathleen Lights, who I absolutely love. And then this is also her collaboration, Dream Street. The Zodiac I like because every shade is supposed to be for one of the astrologies, like Leo, Libra, Virgo. I love this color story. I love the shades that she chose in here. This one I'm gonna keep. I've loved, she's the one who turned me on to ColourPop. So I'm gonna keep this palette and I love the packaging on this. Like it is absolutely breathtaking. And then Dream Street, this one's got more of the neutral shades with pops of color. So I love the teal, the coppery shade, this green and pinky tone. Keeping. This one I just picked up. This is Lilo and Stitch Beach Dreamin'. I love this color story. It's so pretty. I just did a video on this, so if you haven't seen it, go check that out. Ooh, gorgeous. That video has all the full swatches, so check it out if you want to see it. Keeping. Lost in Wonderland. If you didn't know, I have a full sleeve of Alice in Wonderland. This one, not the new one with Johnny Depp, the original Alice in Wonderland that Disney put out. I have the whole sleeve. I don't know that I'm going to get rid of this because I do love Alice. I love the shades that are in here. I love the names. Stark Raving Mad, Mad Tea Party, Curiouser and Curiouser. Shimmers are gorgeous. Pressed glitter is mesmerizing. So keeping this one. I know we're gonna get into like the neutral peachy tones again, and we're gonna have that conversation. This one is the deeper peachy tones. This one I tend to keep because I really like how they play off my skin when I have a tan. Love those. Keeping. This one's Sweet Talk. We have the Whatever palette. This was supposed to be like reminiscent of the 90s. Deeper, darker, moodier tones. Really pretty shimmers, pressed glitter. Pressed glitter is not everyone's like forte or cup of tea. I like the bronzy tones, and then you've got the burgundies and the reds in here. So I'm gonna keep this one. Nightmare Before Christmas. This isn't going anywhere. I absolutely love Nightmare Before Christmas. And you got some gorgeous tones in here. I love this hot pink and the purple. Oof. And then this black with like purple and teal and blue glitter in there. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the shimmers. Keeping this one. I love the artwork on this. Bye Bye Birdie. I like the color story. I don't know that I'm in love with the color story. You've got 2 pressed glitters, a bunch of shimmers, purpley burgundy shades. I feel like I kept this in other palettes. I just don't think I've reached for this. It's pretty. It's just, nah, I'm not keeping it. Enchanted. Another purple palette. Where is the other? Nope, not it. Was it Lock It Down, which is similar. And then I feel like I'm always gonna keep this one because of some of the shades in here. So we're gonna keep It's My Pleasure. But this I feel like has similar shades, but this one has the deeper burgundy tones in it. There's not a pressed glitter, which I'm okay with. Actually, that is a pressed glitter. Ooh. I think I'm gonna keep this Enchanted palette and get rid of Lock It Down. So very lovely. Okay, I like that you've got the peachy tone, the light purple, you got the goldish yellow shade in here. I've reached for this palette quite a bit. I do like the tones in here. So I'm gonna keep this one, and I love the artwork on it. It is really pretty and aesthetically pleasing. Sauvage. This was a collaboration. I forgot who it is. Is it Becky G? It is. It's Becky G. Right here's the collaboration. The color story is really pretty. I do love the tones in here. I love the teal, the orange, the burgundies. The shimmers are really pretty. So I'm gonna keep this one. Ménage à Moi. Kind of like the mauve-y tones that I gravitate towards. So this one I will keep because you also have the burgundies, the mauves, and some really pretty like pressed glitters and shimmers. Love that. So keeping. Pretty Please. I like this color story. So you got the burgundy, you got some lighter cool tones, you've got this deeper, darker like gray and like a taupey gray. So I feel like you could do something a little bit more like light and toned down, but then you could also deepen it up. And it has the Super Shock eyeshadows in here. Love this color story. Gonna keep that. Off Melrose. I like the color story. I don't know that I'm in love with this color story. I kept it for a while. I think it's time to pass it on. It's pretty. I just don't need it. And then In the Springs. Ooh, this is fun. And I don't think I've kept a color story quite like this. So you got the bronzy tones, you've got the greens, and then you got a champagne. Gonna keep that one. Okay, on to the second to last stack. This is the Troublemaker palette. I like these colors. There's kind of like the grungy tones in here. You've got a white, silver, scarab, and this pink. Really like these shades. This palette will stick around for now. Good Sport. This one's got like fall colors. I love these shades. Absolutely love this. Love the peridot green, the gold, the pinky shade, champagne. Definitely fall vibes. I love the cranberries and burnt oranges and yellows. Perfect for coming up on Oktoberfest. Love that. Very Well. This one's more of like the cool tone, subdued shades. Do like the deeper brown, the peachy. You got the cool like grayish tones. And then you got the pressed glitters and shimmers. Love that. That one I'll keep. Okay, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This one's not going anywhere. I loved this movie as a little kid. Absolutely love the color story. So you've got the pinky tones, you've got the neutral browns, you've got the burgundy, the green. Love this. Him and the female reindeer Clarice. I absolutely adore this palette. I was so excited when I saw the collection coming out. Everything from my childhood, and I love the shimmers in here. So keeping this one. Oh, Cabana Club is so cute. I love this color story. So you've got some of the moody, deeper tones, but then you've got the pops of color, this green, the orange, gold, the peachy shade. So much fun. This is definitely summer vibes. I need to play around with this one. Star Wars, same thing with Mandalorian and the child. This palette is staying so beautiful. Although if I were to declutter this, I think actually Jamie might already have it. But I love this. I loved Star Wars growing up. We watched it every, what was it, Thanksgiving or Christmas? The kids weren't allowed to be in the kitchen, so we watched Star Wars. Love this. Blue, silver, the red, this beautiful like glittery smattering. Really love this. Frosty the Snowman. So same thing with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. These are from the same time frame as far as like my childhood is concerned. They were like the claymation type of movies as well. There was claymation and then there, of course, the animation, and I can't remember which one is which. This one is more of like the lighter tones. I do like you got the taupey or the tan shade, and then the gray with the black, and then you got the blue and the pink. So I can do a lot with this, and it's more of the cool tones. You've got the pressed glitters, you got the beautiful shimmers. Icy Cool, love this. Keeping. See, we're getting into all of like my nostalgia palettes right now. The Haunted Mansion. This is Welcome Foolish Mortals. Love the movies. I love the ride at Disney. This palette is really pretty. I love that you have the neutral tones, but then the shimmers are the pops of color with the teal, the purple, really pretty like pinky rose gold, and then this pressed glitter. Look at this. Gorgeous. Keeping that one. Disney Designer Midnight Masquerade. This is not the first one. I think this is the second Disney Designer that came out with the princesses. So this one's the deeper tones, and actually, let me find the original. All right, so this is the original, and you've got the neutral tones, you've got the really pretty shimmers, and then in Midnight Masquerade, it gets a little bit deeper, but you have some of the peachy tones and pops of color. I love both of these. The shimmers are gorgeous. This one's got pressed glitter in it. I'm keeping both of these palettes. So we'll swatch the pressed glitter, the gold, the pink, and the champagne. I love those. I love the artwork on this. So they've got them at the ball all dressed up and ready to dance. And then you have them ready to go on the runway. So keeping both of those. All right, I've got both of the Twilight. So Twilight and then Twilight New Moon. So you've got the cool tone shades. I like the pops of green in here, the blue, the pressed glitters. So this one's fairly new as well. I think it came out like 2 years ago. So keeping this one. And then New Moon is more of like the sepia tones, a little bit more moody. Yeah, I love this. Definitely good for fall. Beautiful neutral tones. I can use the browns, the tan. You've got Wolfpack, which is a gorgeous like champagne pressed glitter. You've got this one right here. I'm excited to play around with this again for the fall. This reminds me of like hot apple cider and the pumpkin patch. Malibu Barbie. I like this color story. I feel like I've said that for the last like 10 of them. This does have the pops of color with the hot pink, the mustardy yellow, the orange, the teal. The shimmers are really nice. Lots of fun. Definitely gonna keep this one. Okay, we've got Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2. So very different like art aesthetic on these two. This one has like the moody, grungy, dark tones, whereas this one, if I remember correctly, has the neons. So very different color stories. I'll be honest, I'm keeping both of these. I love Hocus Pocus. I'm excited. I think they're supposed to be doing another Hocus Pocus, but I feel like these also complement each other, so keeping both of them. Roaring Hearts has a lot of like neutral shades. This is definitely one of those like a glam neutral. Not a lot of shimmers, more mattes than anything, but they're also buttery smooth. They're really pretty. Gotten lots of compliments on the shimmers when I've used them in the past. I do love this shade for work. So this one I will keep as well. Disney Mulan. Also a really good neutral palette. So you've got the neutral tones. Use this a lot for work. Like a Girl is a really pretty pressed Super Shock. And then the other shimmers are absolutely stunning. This is probably by far one of my favorites. Will not get rid of this palette. I need to put it on my desk so I can play around with this. It's a good color story for my everyday wear. And then Villains Misunderstood. I thought I was gonna get rid of this one. I like that you got the deep dark shades, but there's a lot more shimmers in here than there are mattes. You've got the peridot green, the champagne, the purple, the like plummy burgundy shift. Oh, I'm keeping that one as well. I have gotten rid of a lot, you guys, so you can't be completely mad at me. Okay, you guys, last stack from ColourPop, and these are the larger palettes. If anything, I will probably keep a bunch of these as well, but I do know that I also need to take into consideration the other palettes that I've kept that have similar shades. And at some point, I might have to go into the smaller palettes and figure out which ones stay, which one goes if I have the shades in a larger palette. But the smaller palettes are also easier to travel with. We'll figure it out. All right, this is Through My Eyes. This is a collaboration with I Love Sari. So Sarah, I can't say her name. It's too late at night. I really like this. You have a lot of neutral tones. You've got the pops of color. This was one of my favorite palettes to pick up. I never reviewed it on my channel. I just added it into my collection. I've played around with it a couple times. I do like this shade and then deepen it up with Nostalgia. The shimmers are breathtaking. I love the colors that she curated for this palette. Has a lot of things that I enjoy about it. And then like the green, look how gorgeous that is. So I am gonna keep this palette. I do like some of these tones, especially for fall. This burnt orange and, or is that a corally orange and Euphoric? Love this. Okay, So Jaded. This is a Kathleen Lights collaboration with ColourPop. This was one of their first big palettes, if I remember correctly. But you have all the shades. And you've got some of the deeper, darker, moodier shades too. I love the blues and the teals, the browns. You have a little bit of everything in here, including the matte with the glitter in it. I really like that. Pressed glitter as well, which is not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a nice option to have. So I am gonna keep this one.
Hi, Dixie. Hi, Bubba.
We have Your Golden. Ooh, yeah, see, I like this one. I like that I have the lighter tones, also golden, which means it's going to be on the warmer side. And I love the light pinks, the champagne, and then I have the blue. There's a bunch of different shades that I gravitate towards, especially for summer. This is definitely something that I would keep out on my desk, and I absolutely need to. I'm looking at some of these palettes and I'm like, I need to dive in a little bit more to some of the palettes I haven't used lately. But let's go ahead and swatch these shades. Illusion is one of my favorites. This is gorgeous, so I'm gonna keep that one. All right, this one is Rock Candy. Lighter tones. So when we're talking about the different shades, so you've got the warm tones, you got a little bit more of like the cool tones. Definitely keeping these as well. I've got the pinky tones that I really enjoy. I've got the deep browns. I do like that there's the grays and into the charcoal shades, and then you've got a deep black. Love the shimmers. Love this shade for everyday use. Keeping this one. It's a mood. Okay, so this one has some of the gemstone shades. So when we're talking about comparisons, all right, so you have some of the gemstone shades in here, but not necessarily, like these are more moody and deep, whereas some of these have like brighter undertones. So not the same. And then it's golden. So I have some of the bronzy shades, but these are lighter. So it would play in contrast with these shades. I'm trying to compare as many, you guys. That way I can be honest with myself of what I actually need to keep or want to keep. So keeping It's a Mood. After Hours. Ooh, I haven't seen this one in a little bit. Burgundies, black, gray, got the tans. This is definitely one of those that I would travel with because I feel like I got a little bit of everything, especially in the fall. And this would be a good one for when Emily and I go to Paris because we're going for a fall wedding. So go into some of these shimmers. Ooh, yes. I love this palette. I'm gonna keep that one. Stone Cold Fox. If you want a cool tone palette, this baby right here is all the cool tones. I love this. You've got the grayish shades, you've got the tans, the blacks, all of it. And then even like the cool tone pinky shades when it comes to the shimmers. Ooh, I like this one. This one is Mystery. That's a gorgeous everyday shade. Beautiful. Keep that one. Precious Metals. Ooh. See, these are the tones that I gravitate towards. Very hard for me to get rid of palettes like this because I can use them on a daily basis. Got the coppery tones, got the pressed glitters. Love this. Gonna keep it. Getting Fresh. I remember this. Okay, I was like, wait, have I used this palette before? This one had like a lot of the green tones. Like you see the greens just smattered through this entire palette. And then you've got the neutral tones. You got the orangey shades, the pinky tones. Really like this. It's a lot of greens. A lot of fun though. Gonna keep that one. Play It Jewel. Ooh, yep, definitely the jewel tones. But you still have a smattering of neutral shades in here. So I do enjoy that. I love a beautiful neutral shade, a neutral look, and then adding in like a pop of color. So I'm gonna keep that one. I didn't even swatch anything. I'm losing my touch, you guys. It's a little bit later at night. I decided to do this after dinner. Really love those. Keeping it. This one is Smoke and Roses. I remember loving this palette. It's got the mauve tones. You've got some deeper tones to deepen up your look and smoke it out a little bit. I've loved the rosy tones, the pink tones, the tan tones. It has a little bit of everything in here. Keeping that one. And last one, this is Smokin' Hot. Ooh, see, and this has all the bronzy shades. Let's see. Okay, so I was thinking about, I was like, there's another palette that's similar. So this is Your Golden. This is Smokin' Hot. See, they've got similar shades, but this is more bronzy, and this has like the pops of color. So, but I also think I'm gonna keep this because I did also get rid of the bronze palette from Morphe. So I think I'm gonna keep this because I like the quality of their shadows. But when I'm thinking about like the Morphe bronze palette, I like the color story on the ColourPop one more than Morphe, which I'd already decluttered. So, all right, now which ones to swatch? Ooh, love that. It's gonna keep it. Anyone surprised? Okay, you guys, now we need to count how many we got rid of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I have the Leaning Tower of eyeshadows. That is 34 eyeshadow palettes. It feels like a lot for me because I love my eyeshadow palettes. I'm really surprised I got rid of this many. Okay, you guys, I will tell you, going through all of my eyeshadow palettes in my affordable eyeshadow collection, there were 136 of them. That is a lot. And I love the affordable eyeshadow palettes because you have some really great quality. The brands that we discussed, like Beauty Bay, ColourPop, there's so many. The ones that stayed in my collection, I absolutely love the color stories. I love the swatches, the shimmers, the way they blend. Some color stories no longer speak to me and I just needed to pass them on. And I know there's a friend out there that wants to add them to their collection. You guys, we did get rid of 34 palettes. I know to some that may not seem like a lot, but for the eyeshadow palettes that are in my collection, most of those I have purchased myself. There are a few that I have received in PR or in a collaboration, but for the most part, all the eyeshadow palettes I've purchased with my own money. Now, stay tuned because we will be doing the high-end eyeshadow palette declutter. I need to do that. I think I'm doing it tomorrow. And that one's gonna hurt my heart because some of those are pretty expensive, but I also know I'm running out of room. I need to make room. I need to pass them on. If I'm not using them, I just need to be honest with myself and give them to a new home. But you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to hit a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.